In America, a lawyer will take a case on a win-only basis. He will have offers, won't he? Should he take them up, do you think, Aisha?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know what is wrong with this man. I think he's got severe mental health issues. But quite frankly, I think he comes across as a very unpleasant, toxic, publicity-hungry weirdo. And if I were them, I would get a restraining order against him. It is their right as parents to decide who the children see and who they don't. He doesn't have some automatic right. And the way he's conducting himself, every time he goes on TV, he makes it worse. If he really wants to rebuild bridges, and I understand how difficult this is, I know people that have been estranged from their family, very, very, very difficult. But if you want to build a bridge back to your family, you don't go running to the press the whole time. You keep your head down. You maybe write private letters. You get yourself together, and then you gently put out some olive
Mike, you think he has got the right?
Well, I think that's a terribly unfair characterisation of Thomas Markle, who I think has been treated despicably and dreadfully by Harry and Meghan. I think they decided early on, we want this guy out of our life. He's too much of an embarrassment. Now, if you remember, it all started with the paparazzi pics, OK? And he was approached by a load of photographers who said, you know, you look like a fat old guy and you're going to be the father of the Queen of England. We can help you with your image. So he fell for it. He didn't get any money. He fell for it and he said, OK. And they took the pictures of him looking at a computer and getting fitted for his suit, OK? The next thing is the People article. The People's the biggest selling magazine in the world. They publish a part of a letter from Meghan, which makes him look dreadful. And all he did was reply to an inquiry from the Mail on Sunday to put the record straight.
And then it's such a surprise. He then ends up on Good Morning Britain, and then he ends up on another. It's like he's very unlucky.
He has criticised her, hasn't he?
Yes, he has criticised her, and she deserves criticism for treating your father like that. She's pushed her father right out of her life because he doesn't fit her image. She wants to be the most cool and famous woman in the world, and she doesn't want this rather overweight guy living in Mexico, her father, to be anywhere near her. And I think it's disgraceful.
Mike,
and I think the fact
Aisha, come back in.
Yeah.
His actions and the way he's reacted to this, also not just him, but her absolutely vile half-siblings as well, who are like coining it in left, right and centre.
That's not him.
From they have spoken to him about
Samantha?
it. Yes, Samantha. I don't blame her. I think you have every right, if a family member is being toxic to you, you can cut
I don't think he's
them
being
out
toxic.
of your...
How's he being toxic?
What? He goes on TV at the drop of a hat.
He goes on TV to try and defend himself against continuous attacks from Harry and Meghan's camp. Her friends got together and stitched him up, and it ended up in a popular magazine. He had every right to defend himself.
His grandson, and quite frankly, if I were them, I would keep their grandkids so far away from him.
I wonder whether
leaving
Thomas Markle out of it, I wonder whether actually a grandparent does have the right. I think I might feel I've got the right if my kids had children and they didn't like me. I could say, well, I still want to see my grandchildren. I think it depends.
So if, for example, you had played a huge role in bringing up those children and those children had known you from when they were wee and you had been a huge part of their life, this is a very different scenario.
OK.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad. Today we're cutting through the nonsense and setting the record straight on the relentless attacks against Prince Harry and Meghan. It seems like some people just can't stand to see them thriving, and the usual suspects are back with their baseless rants. But don't worry, we're here to shut that down. Let's talk about this ridiculous claim that Harry and Meghan have treated Thomas Markle unfairly. Are we really going to pretend that a man who continuously runs to the press, selling out his own daughter, deserves sympathy? Let's be real. If he truly cared about Meghan, he wouldn't have betrayed her trust, time and time again. He chose publicity over family, and now he's facing the consequences. That's not Meghan's fault, that's his own doing. And yet, the British tabloid media continues to push this tired narrative that Meghan is somehow responsible for his actions. Seriously, she's not responsible for an adult man's poor decisions. Let's not forget, this is the same media that has spent years smearing Meghan while giving a free pass to anyone willing to badmouth her. And then we have these so-called royal experts who just can't keep Meghan's name out of their mouths. They claim she's obsessed with fame, but remind me again, who's making a career out of talking about her every single day? It's laughable. Meghan and Harry are out here doing real work, whether it's championing mental health, supporting wounded veterans, or using their platform for positive change, while their critics are stuck whining about them on TV. And let's be clear, Harry and Meghan are not the villains in this story. They are parents who have every right to protect their children from toxic influences. No one, not even a grandparent, is entitled to a relationship with a child just because they share DNA. Family is about love, trust and respect, not media interviews and cheap tabloid paychecks. Prince Harry has proven time and time again that his greatest priority is his wife, Meghan, and their children, Archie and Lilibet. Unlike the rigid and often cold parenting style of the royal family, Harry has chosen to be a present, affectionate and hands-on father, prioritizing Meghan and their kids over royal tradition. Traditionally, royal fathers have played distant roles in their children's upbringing, often leaving the hands-on parenting to nannies, staff and their wives, but Harry broke that mold completely. He chose to step away from royal life in 2020, putting his family's safety and happiness above duty, something unheard of in royal circles. Rather than raising his children under the strict protocols of the monarchy, where they would have faced press harassment and suffocating rules, he made the bold decision to give them a normal, loving childhood in California. Harry has spoken openly about his desire to shield Archie and Lilibet from the same invasive media scrutiny he suffered. He has ensured that his children are raised in an environment where they are free to play, explore and express themselves, not one where they have to adhere to outdated royal expectations or become tabloid fodder. In multiple interviews, including his appearances on the Me You Can't See an Armchair Expert, Harry has emphasized how fatherhood transformed his perspective on life. He has spoken about breaking the cycle of generational trauma in the royal family. He has made it clear that he refuses to raise his children with the same emotional neglect and rigid discipline that he and his brother experienced. His hands-on approach, he has shared that he reads bedtime stories to Archie, takes him on outdoor adventures, and is deeply involved in both kids' daily lives. Therapy and self-awareness, he has admitted that seeking help for his mental health was crucial to being a better husband and father, something that was previously taboo in the royal household. One of his most powerful statements came when he said, "I don't want to pass on pain from the past. There is no blame. But certainly when it comes to parenting, if I've experienced some form of pain or suffering that my father or parents experienced, I'm going to make sure I break that cycle so that I don't pass it on." This statement alone shows the depth of his commitment to giving his children the emotional security that he lacked growing up. Harry's childhood was defined by strict formality, public expectations, and emotional distance. While King Charles was always busy with royal duties, Princess Diana was the one who brought warmth and affection into Harry's life. After her tragic death, Harry was left in an environment where emotions were suppressed and grief was handled behind closed doors. In contrast, Harry is deeply involved in his children's lives, something he never experienced with his own father. Instead of expecting them to conform to outdated customs, he allows them to simply be kids. Unlike royal children, who are often paraded for press photo ops, Harry and Meghan have ensured that Archie and Lilibet grow up away from the paparazzi's glare. Instead of a childhood spent in palaces and under the scrutiny of royal courtiers, Archie and Lilibet are raised in an environment of freedom, love and normalcy. Harry has broken the cycle of emotional distance, openly expressing his love for his children and Meghan, and making sure his family is his top priority. At the end of the day, Harry isn't just a prince. He's a devoted father and husband who refuses to let history repeat itself. His love for Meghan and their children speaks louder than any royal protocol ever could. So to all the haters, keep talking, because Harry and Meghan will keep winning. And to my amazing Royal Sussex squad, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment and show some love with a super thanks to support the channel. Let's keep spreading the truth and uplifting the Sussexes because they deserve it. Until next time, stay positive and stay royal.